Hello, everybody. Oh, wait, we're live. Okay. Hello, everybody. And give me a second because my computer wants to be slow. So bear with me. Okay, here we are. All right. Let me just say hi to everybody first because my computer's being slow. So bear with me. And my phone is being weird. So I see you, but for some reason I can't wave back. So I'm going to just say, oh, no, it didn't. Okay. All right, just give me a second because my computer is just doing this spinny wheel, so I can't really do much. But for the audio, welcome to, I guess I hate to say it, a Valentine's Day special. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to you too. Blah blah blah. I'm not really a fan of this day, and I'll get into it later. Um, okay, a couple things before I get into it. Welcome to episode 22 of Lana and Pure's Pure Sessions. Woo! If I had a clapping drop, I would do it, but I'll just clap for myself. So originally this episode was going to be titled self-rejection on Valentine's Day, but I figured, there are some people who are celebrating it and, who are in love and just, like the day just for what it is. So I kind of changed the title to just, a Valentine's Day special. Um, I I do know the vibes. I hate this day. Anyway, um, yes, I changed it to a Valentine's Day special because I wanted to dive into different things, not just on that one topic. I mean, that is a big thing on this day, not just this day, really any day, but specifically on this day. But so it's episode 22, Valentine's Day special. And the reason why I'm doing it not at my normal time at 6 is because one, it is Valentine's Day. And I figured, people be doing stuff, going out to eat or home with family or home with kids, winding down. And, since, thank you. And since Valentine's Day happened to fall on a Sunday, I figured, people will kind of be winding the evening down early. I mean, granted, you are off if you are working outside of home um, on President's Day, but I didn't want to you know, miss any viewers or miss any people who wanted to hear this because this day for some people is not a fun day. And it doesn't just have to be just not having somebody. There could have been a loss in the family. You could have lost your job, you could be sick, you could be dealing with something. I mean, there is a pandemic still going on, so there is that. So it's not just that you don't have a significant other, it could just be a whole slew of things. um so that being said, that's why I kind of did it early and titled it this title. So with also, as I mentioned last week, now I can announce it now because it's out. So today at 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I dropped my new EP, which is titled The Misinterpreters, Experience and Misinterpreters. And I had it already pre-streamed, to drop because I use DistroKid for all my music. So the beauty about DistroKid, if you aren't aware of it, is you can upload your music and have it drop months and months and months, or even up to a year in advance. But you can set it up so all you have to do is just wait for it to, drop. You don't have to do all the little nanoots of it, and they stream it out to Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, Amazon, anywhere you can listen to music, SoundCloud. They do it for you. So I did this a couple months ago, so it did drop today at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can catch it on, like I said, SoundCloud, Apple, Google, iTunes, all that, YouTube, all that fun jazz. And I also have it on my Instagram page. I did a little snippet of a couple of songs for the past couple of weeks, to just tease the audience a little bit. And I picked like 4 songs that I really liked off the album. The album I actually have 28 songs. I know I did a big project. I don't think I've done any project that big before. Since the first album, but that first album was like 12 songs, and there was a reason for that. But this one was 28 songs. And I kind of did it. I'm kind of like weird like that. So, with the first album that I did, which was titled My Name, Lana, but it was an acronym, so each letter meant something, and that had 12 songs. and I did 12 songs, and I made it. I had a drop on my birthday, which is when it is. And there was a reason behind that, but I can get into that later. But with this one, since I did, I like even numbers. I'm not a fan of odd numbers. I just don't like them. So I'm a fan of even numbers. So I put 28 songs, dropped 28 songs, and made it come out on Valentine's Day, February 14th. So whatever way you slice it with the math, I'm weird, don't mind me. It still equals 14, no matter which way you divide it. I don't know. It's just I'm weird. Don't mind me. Anyway, so the I know last week I mentioned that this was a different genre I was doing. I was doing more so focusing on like jazz, chill hop, trippy hop, neo soul type of relaxing. Like cafe music, like background music. So with the few tracks that I dropped on my Instagram page, it's kind of like that. Oh, the specific songs that I pick, excuse me, are kind of more of that, like you're sitting at a cafe drinking coffee and you hear this music, in the background, or like elevated music, that jazzy elevated music, or you just got off work and you're like winding down, you have your wine. It's like that kind of music. So it's a lot of chill hop. I'm a fan of chill hop, that type of genre. I think that's pretty cool. And a lot of jazz too. I've been really into trying to get into jazz more with my music, not just dance music. So it really incorporates that. So you can find that little snippets I did on my Instagram page, which is Lana and Pure. Both pages actually, Lana and Pure and Lana and Pure's Corner. You can find it, and the link as well is in my bio. But yes, it is titled "Experienced Misinterpreters." And with that name, I kind of wanted something, a little bit different for the misfits. And I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, like for the misfits, for the people who are different or looked at weird or who like different things or kind of like outside the box thinkers like I am. So it's kind of like, I mean, anybody can listen to it, but the music and the vibe that I wanted was like I really wanted you to not like sit and think and reminisce, but just like be relaxed and chill and just like, vibe out kind of thing. So that's kind of the little background with that. But that is out now. So I'm really excited about that. That was a fun project um that I did. And I have more to come, but this one was like a really, really, big project that I wanted to do. So also I can't reach it because it's over here. But when I mentioned that I'm interested in jazz, I just purchased a trumpet. And the reason behind that was, I don't know if I mentioned this during my Black History Month episode, but since the beginning of February, I've been watching a Black History movie once a day because I felt, they don't really show anything other than Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. Let me find some other people and dive into other aspects, of my culture. And the other day, a couple days ago, I watched a documentary on Miles Davis. Oh, I've heard of him, obviously, but I didn't know I'd be so intrigued with it. And literally, I kid you not, as soon as the documentary was over, I bought a trumpet. I don't know, something about that, the way that piece incorporates into songs, and the way it can either be the forefront of the song or the background of the song or like the middle of the song, or kind of carries the song. Is just, I don't know, intrigued me like that. So I bought it. I've been playing it. It sounds a little loud, but it's a challenge that I'm accepting. So once I can get a song, because I mentioned this before on my music episode, music in its effects episode, um, that I can't read music, never have, never could, but I can listen to it with ear, with the piano, same with the drums. So I haven't, still can't read it. I've tried, it just doesn't work, but I'm gonna try to teach myself and see how it works. And then once that's that, then I can start adding it into my music. I think a jazz type of vibe, a trumpet type of vibe would be pretty cool. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So that's my new thing next to the album being out. So I'm excited about that. So I talked for like 9 minutes as always, always rambling about that. So let's just go back a second for those of you who are just tuning in. I'm Lana. Hi, welcome to Pure Sessions. This is episode 22. It's going to be two parts. It's going to be a little bit longer than normal, maybe 50 minutes. That's kind of like the max that I do. And I always mention that since I do live on Instagram and YouTube and the audio recording on Anchor that distributes it to all different podcast platforms, it only allows me to record for 30 minutes. So I always say, hold on for 1 second and go to part two. So this one's going to be a little bit longer. So my episodes, my podcasts are on normally on every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So the lives on IG and YouTube, and then the audio is on Anchor, and then it distributes to like SoundCloud, Spotify, all that fun jazz stuff. So, and you can catch the my episodes. I mean, I have two pages, but I mostly just put the episodes on this main page because I wanted to boost this page up a little bit more. I kind of been leaving it by the wayside, so I wanted to boost up Lana and Pure's Corners page up a little bit more, get some more feedback, as well under my stories, under my IG live stories. So they're all there. So this is episode 22. And I just recently started doing the lives, I think episode 16. But you can find all my podcast episodes under my name, Alana and Pure. Same picture, same photo, so you'll be able to find me. So, what else is new before I get into the topic? I think, oh, I have this with me. I don't know if you, well, people who are listening to the audio, you can't see it, so I'll explain it. I'm sorry. So, this is a mask, obviously, that I got from one of my sister girls in my Bible study group every Wednesday that I attend on Zoom. And it's not titled, but you can follow them on Instagram, Girls Who Talk. And I put in the link last week. And one of the girls, she has her own business that she does with merchandise. So like masks, hoodies, backpacks. And I got this one. It's titled "It's His Grace for Me," 2 Corinthians 5:17, and it's on the cover of it, and I think it's so cool. And I wanted to support her, obviously, but also love Black. And I love, this is actually one of my favorite Bible verses as well too. But the only thing is, because I've worn this out, you have to wear it underneath another mask, because I don't believe it is 4 ply. I think it is 2 ply. I mean, you can if you're just like in your car driving around, but going into stores, I wouldn't recommend just wearing this by itself, because you want to be safe. So I would wear this one over, say, the blue one or the white N95s if you have them. But I will put the link of her website in the bio, because I don't remember it off the top of my hand, and I believe the link is in my on my phone, so I can't exit right now. But I just wanted to say shout out, Shaquaya girl. I'm gonna wear your thing. What happened, but I don't want to wear it now because I don't want to get dusty. But and each of her merchandise has a Bible verse on it, different one. So I think that's pretty cool. So I think it's cool. Support fellow entrepreneurs, whether it's with biblical references, whether it's with music, art, groups, focus groups, anything, because we're all striving to get to that one goal. And it does take some time, to get known and recognized. So I always try to do my little part as much as I can, whether it's big or small, whether it's just adding extra 5 minutes, or in the beginning, extra 5 minutes of shouting out somebody who's been doing it, doing something that's passionate to them. I always feel like you should always try to do your passion one way or other in life, and not just like settle. At least that's my opinion. You don't want to just settle, because then you'll look back and realize, oh, I could have done this at least for a little bit, or at least say I tried it. I always think you should at least try to do the thing you love, which is what I've been doing with my music. I kind of been slacking with the doing the live set, so I do apologize, but I will try to get back to that. I think, and I mentioned this a couple of weeks back. I don't know if I lost my juice, or I just, the creative juice is kind of flowing elsewhere, with my podcast and everything. So I'm trying to see if I can find little remedies of trying to get, not the interest, because I haven't lost the interest of DJing, but bring back, that spark I once had when I was you know doing it consistently. So I think also with buying the trumpet, I think that would get me to motivate me to make more music and, try it out. So we shall see. All right. So I've talked for a bit again. So, like I said, I mentioned that this episode was originally going to be like rejection on Valentine's Day, but I figured to do a broader conversation would be just a Valentine's Day special. And I'm going to talk about different things in that, because I felt a little bad just bad mouthing and bad mashing Valentine's Day, because there are people, like I said, who celebrate this day and who have loved ones, or who are married, or have spouses or partners, and who enjoy this day. And I think I mentioned this on my episode, being it's okay to being alone, or maybe one before that, that I used to love Valentine's Day. I mean, I feel like every girl at one point in their life, what I'm saying, love Valentine's Day. But I think, and it always sounds like a cliche, it was always that one guy, or always that one circumstance that had happened that kind of made you look at things differently, a little bit jaded, because, it's cute when you're like in elementary school, middle school, where you like have to give a little Valentine's Day card to the rest of your class, says be mine or kisses and hugs, with little sweet tarts, and you give it to everybody in the class and it says, do you like me or you like me? And then I guess as it gets older, I don't know what happens, but I guess the females or we expect a little bit more than just the card. Like we want like the flower. Everyone wants the flower or we want like the little teddy bear or something like that. I don't know when in our young adult lives or our childhood lives that we expect or we want more than just the little card with the candy in it. I don't know. I always liked the card with the candy because I would always eat it right away. Um, I don't know. But with me, I think I liked or really, really liked, I guess I could say Valentine's Day. Maybe up until like 11th grade, maybe 10th grade. I don't even remember to be honest, but like it came from like loving it to always waiting for the day to like liking it to like then you finally get with somebody when you're older. Then you like expect something to happen on that day or expect to get something on that day. And then I don't know what happens between that time of expecting to get something because you're like in a relationship or just like realizing that it's not going to work that way. Like, I don't know what happens with that because as time got on, I'm just like, this day doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. I mean, why? I mean, you've heard people have these conversations, people who either been jaded or been in a relationship or had a relationship or just think it's another day. Because I talked to some people and half of them today forgot it was Valentine's Day. I kind of did, but I didn't only because of my podcast episode fell on Sunday. So that's the only reason that my mind triggered because I honestly forgot. um, and then it got to a point too, maybe 2, 3 years ago, maybe, that when I realized that, um, with the people who I was dating at the time and I wasn't, they either forgot about Valentine's Day or didn't get me anything or, you start comparing yourself to other couples or other friends, who have like, I guess, a better relationship or who get more during that day. I don't know. After a while, I just started buying my own stuff, like the chocolate, the teddy bears, the candy, stuff like that. Nothing like crazy. But it's like you don't I could just buy it myself instead of like, you know, expecting the person to give it to you. Because then when you expect the person to do something or give it to you, on a day or on a holiday, and then it doesn't happen. We put so much high hopes and high stakes in something, and then when inevitably it fails, we're like, well, what the heck? It's like why? At least my opinion, and it's taken me a little while to get here. Because before I'm like, oh, you sound cynical. Oh, that's just jaded. Blah blah blah. I'm like, why do you need a day to like show somebody that you care about them, right? Or show somebody that you love them or, give them gifts. It's like my thing is if you guys, like say a couple or whatever, not even marriage, but let's say like a boyfriend, girlfriend, if you guys were like fighting for like 2 weeks straight and like on the 13th, you guys like stop fighting for like that hour till Valentine's Day. And then you mean to tell me on the 13th eve before Valentine's Day, magically you guys are fine, you're getting cards, you're getting candy, going out to eat, doing all this stuff, and everything's fine. Nothing was like y'all weren't just arguing for 2 weeks straight. And then you're fine, you do all this other stuff, you get cards, love, blah, blah, blah. And then the 14th ends and then it's back to the 15th and you guys are arguing again. It's like it doesn't seem, genuine. Like I feel like it's an expectation that girls should get things on Valentine's Day, like cards, candy, dinner, back when we could go out and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like it puts a lot of pressure on the person because if they don't do anything, then they lose, and if they do something and it's not enough, then you still lose. And then if you have to remind them about doing the thing, then they still lose. But then if you don't say anything, the guy's not going to say anything, so then you're upset all day, then you still lose. So it's like, why should it be, in my opinion, just a day where you can just do it any day. Like you don't need a holiday to celebrate love. You know what I'm saying? Like you celebrate love every day. Like it shouldn't be like a stamp. Okay, tomorrow's the 14th. I'm gonna get her this, that, and the third. But just yesterday, I was thinking about moving out. Like it doesn't make sense in my opinion. I just feel like it needs to be more organic. And granted, it's my experiences, maybe a little bit jaded or whatever, but also social media and TV and like, I guess real life, I guess doesn't really help because it always portrays the men always having to you know, buy the stuff for the female. And if they don't, then it's like, well, you forgot, or, you weren't paying attention or whatever. But it's like, well, how about you get the guy something? Or how about you buy the guy something? Or how about you celebrate it on the 13th, 14th, and 15th? Not just, that day. Like, why does that day solidify all your love that you've had for this person in 24 hours? Like it shouldn't just be squeezed into one day, in my opinion. I think that it should be shown, all the time. I don't know. It's just I just never got it. And then I'm like, when because I've been disappointed on Valentine's Day. I've had a lot of issues on Valentine's Day. I don't mind being transparent. Let's see if I can think back to right. So my first real Valentine's Day, essentially. I don't even know how old I was. 22, 20. Well, I don't remember. Anyway, it was years ago. And the person I was dating at the time actually didn't even know that it was Valentine's Day, and they actually got sick. But I already bought like a new outfit and new shoes, and I'm like, well, okay, we're going out. And like I said before, I don't wear heels, but I wanted to wear heels that day because, it's a special occasion or whatever. So I had to put on these heels, 1.5 inch heels, and we went out to some restaurant, and the person was sick the whole time, like couldn't eat, couldn't drink anything, just basically just had tea. And I had to sit there and like, you know, try to build up the conversation and try to keep the conversation going. And I felt bad because the person came out even when they were sick, but at the same time, it's like what are you contributing to the conversation? So that was like a dub. And then what was that? After that, another year, I think the person bought something for like his friends and like his mom and then like his cousin, and then didn't give me anything and forgot about it. And then it was like 2, 3 days later. And I'm like, okay, womp. And then there was another time I ended up breaking my foot twice in 1 year, right? So the first time I broke it, I was still in college. My right foot, same foot, mind you. I broke my right foot. I was in school. I was in the parking lot. And I was on the phone, so that was my fault. I'll take that out. And I was on the phone in the parking lot, and I wasn't paying attention because I was on the phone. And I guess my foot missed like here's like the sidewalk concrete to the driveway, and then here's like the driveway. Like this how much the sidewalk was. And then my foot missed this space that was here, and then my foot did that. And I fell on the ground. The phone flew somewhere. Mind you, I'm in the parking lot behind the school, so nobody's really back there because it's just parked cars. And it didn't hit me at first. I'm just looking at my foot because I think it was in the summer, so I think I had flip flops on too. Another thing. Oh no, I remember exactly. I had moccasins. That's what it was. I had moccasin slide-ons, and so my shoe flew somewhere too. And so I'm looking at my foot this way, and nothing's hit me yet. So I'm just looking at it. I'm like, well, this is unfortunate. So I had to like I don't even know. I guess this pays to have long arms. I somehow like reached over to get my phone to call my mom or somebody, and then I'm like, I think I said like, so by the way, I think I fell in the back of the parking lot in the school, and I think my foot's broken. And she was screaming. I'm like, oh yeah, no, mind you, I still feel no pain. I'm just looking at my foot the opposite way, right? And so I guess she calls somebody, and then they call somebody, and then the paramedics come. And then I kid you not, my mom can tell you this. As soon as I hung up the phone when she said, help's on the way, the pain, I mean, the pain, the pain just came out of nowhere. And I'm looking at my foot going the opposite way. I'm screaming in the back. It's like, I feel like I'm going to die. Like, this is my life. My life ends in the back of this parking lot. I mean, I was in so much pain. Anyway, so turns out I ended up breaking, was it my ankle? My foot? My ankle. I ended up breaking my ankle. But the thing was, I was like a month and a half away from graduation. I'm like, I'm not staying here again because this was back when I was at my first college. I was actually in winter session, spring session, summer session because I was trying to graduate, on time. So I was literally in school like all year. I didn't have a break. I'm like, no, I'm not missing these last classes because I'm like, I'm getting out of this school. And the funny thing is, I had a wheelchair. I mean, not that everything was broken, but it was just easier to get around with the wheelchair. So my mom, shout out to her, she actually took care of me that last semester and rolling around in the wheelchair. So that was the first time I broke my foot. The second time I broke my foot, mind you, this was it the same year? It might have been the same year. Yeah, it might have been the same year. So the first one, I broke my ankle. The second time I broke my foot. Mind you, it's the same foot, right? Okay, so it's Valentine's Day. This is a Valentine's Day story. The first story was just like a pre to get you to the story. So let's start over. So the first one, the person was sick and we couldn't really do anything. The second one, they forgot about it and bought everybody else stuff. The third one was I was on Valentine's Day date with somebody, and we had a good time, blah blah blah. And then it started to rain, started to pour. My mom always says, "Get out of the car in front of the driveway, not on the sidewalk." So the person drops me off obviously at home in front of my house, right? So here's the driveway. And here is where he parks. So like this is where the driver was. He stopped like at the edge, like right here of the concrete of the sidewalk. I guess he parked a little bit too close. So there was no like space, hay step between the concrete and the car and the step and the sidewalk. Mind you, we had an argument about something that was upset. So it was raining, like pouring rain. Mind you, I got out the car myself. He didn't help. So I laugh now, but it was so terrifying that I get out the car. My foot does like this is the space between the sidewalk and the concrete. My foot, like, I don't even remember. It just does this and then does this, and then I fall and I'm like crying. Mind you, I'm still on the ground. I don't even think you noticed that this is a true story. I'd managed to hobble up. He's still in the car, and my mom actually was at the door because I forgot my umbrella. So mind you, my hair is getting wet. Everything's getting soaked, and I'm hobbling. And so she doesn't even notice I'm hobbling because you can't really see it yet till you get up close, because she's just on the steps with the umbrella. And then she saw me hobbling, and she saw me crying. And then when she came down to get me, then that's when the chauffeur got out the car. And on top of that, so the next day I had to go back to the same hospital that broke my first incident, go back to the hospital, and ended up saying that you broke your foot this time. Luckily, knock on wood, both times I didn't have to have surgery. I just had a cast. So, and then this time I had to be laid up for like a month, some change. Mind you, the whole time I was laid up, this fool never visited once. It was crazy, right? So that's the third time of my Valentine's Day woes. The fourth time was it a couple of years ago? I can't remember. I think my math is off. It might have been a couple of years ago. Um, Oh, well, I didn't say anything. This is at the point where I was like pissed off now. My foot's healed. I'm a little bit older. I finished school finally. And I'm kind of like, this day is really annoying because I always know, like, and not even just with those past experiences, but I just know that I'm either gonna have to bring it up because that's always how it's always been in the past. I'm always gonna have to bring it up, like, hey, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, or hey, a couple days is Valentine's Day, or I know I'm gonna be disappointed because in my history or experiences, if I don't say anything, then nothing's gonna happen. And I was getting to the point where I'm like, this is sucking because I'm not, not getting anything. And I'm not one of those who ask for like shoes, which I think is the dumbest thing. You should never buy a girl shoes, even if you just met her. That just makes no sense. Or like bags or anything, but like cards, chocolate. I love chocolate. I love sweet tarts. It's really, you can really go to like the dollar store and get sweet tarts. I'm that simple. It's not even that serious. Um, because at the same time, during all those instances, I would be, not going all out, but I would be trying to show my way of reciprocating to this day, I guess, means something to you too. So let me, give you something as well. And after a while, when I realized that I was putting so much, expectations on this day, I'm like, I need to either chill and just deal with the day or just start, buying myself stuff, which I've been doing since then, which is buying like the cards and the chocolate and the little flowers, just because you can do it. You don't need somebody else to do it, if that makes sense. It's kind of like the whole moral of all that story was you can really do it yourself at the same time. Now, like I said earlier in the beginning of this episode, Anchor only allows you to record for 30-minute sessions. So this one's about to end. So I'm going to do part two in a minute once this stops. So if it's silent for like 30 seconds, that's why. I wish this thing lasted longer than 30 minutes, but it doesn't. So stay tuned for a minute of silence. But for part two, once I can get this to stop recording. So it's going to be silent for like 30 seconds. And here we go. Okay. Bow, chicka, bow, bow, chicka, bow, bow. Ju, 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 ju. Up in here. Okay. Let me stop. Oh my God. Bow, chicka, bow, bow. And we're back. Okay. So, yeah. So I am saying all that to say it is, at least from my experience, because I can't really speak on everybody else because the people I circle myself around now are a little bit different than whom, I've circled myself with around in the past. And the people I circle myself with now, we're older, 27, 28, 29, whatever. We have like, steady relationships or, you know, marriage or whatnot. So after a while, it took me some time actually, and it's still a day to day process of not comparing myself to other people's relationships. And that was a big thing I was doing when I was in college, and it had nothing really to do with more so Valentine's Day, just like in general. When I was with another couple who looks like they have much better things going on, or the relationship seems solid, or they're getting, showered with love and attention and blah, blah, blah. It really isn't all what it seems. And then once you get to the point of, always comparing, like, why can't we go out 3 times a night instead of 1 time a night? Or why does she get that? Or why don't you pull out the chair? Why don't you do this? And it becomes a hinder slowly but surely, on the relationship because you're comparing other people's way of moving and grooving to yours, and everything and everybody works differently with other people. It's not just hey, it's not just like their way of doing things may work for them, but it may not work for you. So you can't, unless you're all twins, but you can't really walk in the same light as they are because you're just comparing. You're not focusing on, you know, what you have in front of you. And after a while, I'm just like, I used to put so much stock in Valentine's Day because I'm like, well, I guess it's supposed to be this day. And, well, why, if you're with somebody, if you're dating somebody, well, why aren't you getting the flowers and the cards and the candy? Or why aren't we going out, to dinner or whatever? I remember I forgot about the last one, the most recent one I had about Valentine's Day woes. So if you guys are just joining with this one, so the first woes of my Valentine's Day was the first person I was dating with at the time, they were sick, so the night, was ruined. The second one, they forgot about it. The third one, they bought everything for everybody else, but not me. The fourth one was when I broke my foot on Valentine's Day. And then the one I think that takes the cake is the most recent one. It was like a year. Was it this year? Was it this February? Or last February? I can't remember. These days all meshed together. It's been early 2020. I don't remember. Anyway, we were talking for like some time, and it was Valentine's Day, and got all dressed up, did all the blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, let me give this Valentine's Day thing a chance one more again. And so, it was kind of like weird. The tensions were kind of high up leading up until Valentine's Day, and I had no notion of this, but the person after the night was done, I didn't notice at the time, but the person was already planning on, you know, ending the relationship, right? Mind you, on Valentine's Day. So we have the dinner, it was okay, with some silence because I'm not really like I've always been an advocate. I am a shy person. And I do take a while to like open up. But like if you're with somebody, whoever it is, two girlfriends out, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, people, whatever, you can't just sit there silent because, granted, I don't mind bringing up the conversation or bring up topics to talk about, but, you know, it can't just be me always talking. And I used to hate that because the first person I mentioned, he was so silent. He would never say anything when we would go out. Like we were talking, but the conversation would die out in like 30 seconds. And this is like in the beginning, the middle, and the end. And so for me, I'm like, you can't, how are you sitting across from me not saying anything? It's stupid. I could be at home. It's a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? Like how you just look, it just looks weird. You're out to dinner, you're out in public, and you're sitting across from whomever and you're just not saying anything. It just looks odd, in my opinion. Like, granted, when you get to that level of comfortability around somebody, sure. But it's like if you're out at a restaurant or you're out to eat or it's like a special occasion, I would think you would want to talk, unless that's just me. I don't know. So right. So the tensions were high, it was kind of quiet, blah, blah, blah. The night is over. Right, so it was our first Valentine's Day together as a couple, and originally he wanted to cook at home. I'm like, that's cute and all, but like as like a first real Valentine's Day. Plus I already had plans because I knew nothing was going to happen, so I already booked reservations for dinner at a place I knew he would like. It's already a done deal. So the dinner is over, and the evening's winding down, and then he just drops and just says, I think we should end it. Gave like a bullshit response, a bullshit reason why, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, on Valentine's Day. I think I was so far ahead or so far to the point where I'm like, this is a joke. Like, I wasn't even upset. I didn't even cry. I'm just like, okay, sure, really, whatever you want to do. So it does that. And I kid you not, at the end of the conversation, this fool gives me a gift. And I'm like, what is this? He said, oh, it's a gift for Valentine's Day. And what he did was, which is actually kind of cool, he did caricatures of us, or in a way, of us as Simpsons characters, but black. And I thought it was really cool. And then he gave this to me after he broke up with me. It was like, I wanted to give you this gift, but then, here we are. I took that junk home and I got, what did I get? Like a bottle or something. I just broke the glass. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing. And I'm all for if you're not happy with somebody, leave. If you're not, getting along with somebody, leave. But it's like you have a conversation about it. Like, granted, nobody likes to be, dumped or broken up with, but there's a way to go about it. And they always say, don't do it before the birthday and don't do it on Valentine's Day. That's just like a thing, or Christmas, especially on the holidays. So those are my woes for Valentine's Day. And it's funny because even before that happened, that one recently, I'm just like, this day is just made up. Um, sorry. Even before that happened, I'm like, this day is just made up. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, why are we forced to like be together on this day if we're together every day? Then I started to get like, I don't even want to be around you all this time. But now on top of that, I have to work at Valentine's Day. So I'm just like, and I guess in all those stories and all those different instances, I just kind of like maybe grew out of having starry eyes for Valentine's Day, or having like interest in that day, and like it could come and go, whatnot, kind of thing. I don't know. It could be because I'm jaded, or with the experiences I gave. And for y'all who just joined, you can rewind this back later and hear the experiences I gave. If you had those experiences too, I think it wouldn't be so much you would be jaded, but I think you would be a little bit more like open eyed to the situation, because everything doesn't have to be black and white. You know what I'm saying? You could want this, that, and the third, but if the person isn't that person, then you're just not going to get it. You could want the cards, the flowers, the candy, the attention, not just on one day, but in general. But if they're not that, you know, kind of person, then you're just not gonna get it. It's a dub. So I just feel like it's just, why force it? Maybe that's just me. Whew, I need a minute. And for those who listen on the audio, I'm just taking a break because I've been talking for like 30 minutes, and so I don't know. I've been a fan. I haven't actually both. I've been a fan more so of Gatorade than vitamin water, but lately I feel like Gatorade's all starting to taste the same, and the vitamin water seems to be doing something. Because I was one of those people who, they would say take a Red Bull, it would keep your energy up, or drink coffee, keep your energy up or whatnot. But I'm like, the Red Bull never did anything for me, because I would drink it all the time in college, or the Monster drinks would never do anything for me. I would still feel the same. I guess maybe because I always put, I think people tell me, but I always put, so much sugar in my coffee, and honey in my tea and stuff like that. I guess I'm immune to it. I don't know. But it's just, I don't want to spend the whole time ranting about my bad issues or my bad experiences for Valentine's Day because I can, but that's not what this is about. It's really about, and I think we talked about this on my Bible study because we had it this past Wednesday and we were all talking about, what are your Valentine's Day plans? What are you doing? Because some people on there are married, some people have, relationships and stuff like that. And a lot of them were just saying, they got comfortable with just it being a day. Like they weren't like expecting so much, not even because of COVID, but just, I guess when you get to that point with whoever you're with, you're just comfortable being around them. And then you don't have to put so much stock into one day, right? I guess you can just be around them, maybe playing a game. Me personally, I would like to play like a game or a board game or watch movies or do like a taco night or something like that. Like you can make that day fun, which also takes the pressure off of the person, whether it's the girl or the guy, because you do put a lot of pressure on the person when you're always expecting so much, because then you always have to top the previous year. I mean, females don't say it, but they really mean it and want it. They want it topped the next year because it's like if you outdo yourself, so much in the beginning, they're always going to expect, much more. And I guess I don't know if it gets different or it's a different kind of vibe when you're married because I don't know. But the few people who aren't my parents that I've spoken to who are married or who are planning on getting married, I guess, like I said earlier, you get to that point where you're comfortable where it's not like, oh my God, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Let me run around like a chicken with my head. But I think it's just more so like you found that, that soul, the comfortable soul, the comfortable healing, and you can just like okay with it, like it's at peace, like you're just like okay. I don't know. That's from the vibe that I've gotten from talking to people who are like that. I guess it just takes time as well too. And I think also experience as well too, because it really depends on who your experience that you've had with said person or anybody or people and what you'll tolerate. That's another thing too. I think that might be a good topic. Ooh, that might be a cute topic. I think I might do that for next week. What you will and won't tolerate. That's a nice topic. Remember that, write that down. But yeah, it really comes down to ooh, sorry about that. The one thing I hate about having the live on the phone is my alarms keep going off. Anyway, but yeah, it really come boil down to what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate, depending on the person, depending on what they do, the tendencies. Because after a while, you'll notice the same nuances, whether you've been together for 6 months to a year or 3 years. You'll notice how they move and how they groove. And I always said they say it takes 5 years to know somebody, but really you can be with somebody for 20 years and not know them the next day. It really depends on the connection, the likes, dislikes, and again, really, what you'll tolerate and what you'll settle for. Because a lot of people, and I was one of them, I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I was one of them, would settle for A, the person, or B, what they would just offer, knowing that I could, do better, not to badmouth the person, but you just know when you're with somebody that this isn't where you want to be forever, or this is where you shouldn't be. When you're young, you're naive, you want to date the bad boy, or you want to do what your parents don't say, but as you get older, you realize, I'm older now. I don't have time for the games because that's all it is. Relationship really is a game. Not that you can't make it work, but to get to that comfortability level and just that chill level, it is a game, and it takes time. Time to really know somebody. I mean, really know somebody. I mean, you can. I mean, granted, there are those exceptions. You meet your soulmates. You're friends for 20 years and you start to date. Those are different situations. Or you've been friends since the fifth grade or something, and you start dating in college. And that's different because you know that person. But then at the same time, um, when you move from the friendship level to dating that person, it's a whole different ballgame. Oh, that's another good topic. Dating from friends, but no, friends to dating. Oh, see, two good topics. See, but yeah, then it becomes a little bit tricky because then you're looking at that person in a different light. You're seeing things differently. You're realizing, oh, that thing she used to do for like 10 years, it didn't bother me that much because, we were just friends. But now that I'm seeing it 24/7, oh my God, it's really annoying. So that's what they always say. I feel like I sound like my mom, but that's why they say, take time before you get to take time before you move in with somebody because you don't know. But then at the same time, my dad always said, you really get to know somebody when you're moving, when you're living with them. I mean, it's different if you're dating and you're going home to your, separate apartment and stuff like that. But then when you're seeing the person day in, day out, the morning nuances, the evening nuances, how they handle themselves, during the day, if they put the trash out, if they put the seat down, do the dishes, stuff like that, you're realizing that it's like, oh, can I live with this forever? Or is this like a temporary thing? And I guess it's a good way to really see if you're compatible with somebody, is not to just rush and move with them, but you really, what is it? Opens your eyes to that person and things that you didn't notice before that you're seeing now, because it's like right here. It's like right in your face because you're seeing them in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, and when you go to bed, and repeat. So it's just different and it's just tricky. And I feel like I said, this is a Valentine's Day special, but I didn't want but I didn't want to just focus on like bad mouthing Valentine's Day. Like I said, I can, but there are people who like love. There are people who like the caring and the feelings and the emotions and the sweeping, sweeping off your feet. But at the same time, it's like, and I said this before, you're still putting somewhat stock into one day. Like, I don't get it. Like, if you love somebody, like you say you love somebody, right? Why is it just that it's on full hyper speed on this one day? But like just yesterday, y'all were just arguing. And then, but like 2 days before that, y'all were about to move out. But then, like a week before that, you were cheating on him with his best friend. Like, I don't get why this Valentine's Day just makes everything disappear for 24 hours. It's like, and I do sound jaded. I do, but it's just, I guess I'm just seeing things differently. But it's just like, in those 24 hours, unless y'all are Houdini, y'all can't switch, and y'all can't fix all the issues you had just 2 days before. Literally, not even 2 days before. Literally, like 24 hours before, like y'all were just barking at each other, talking about you don't like this, you don't want to do this, you don't want to whatever. But then Valentine's Day comes, and then they give you cards and candy and flowers that will die in 2 days. And then you're like, oh my God, he's the best thing ever. Or, oh my God, I shouldn't be cheating on her. But you're going to do it on the 15th. And I know that sounds bad, so forgive me, but it's just, anyway, let me not before I get in trouble. But I don't know. I guess there's levels to Valentine's Day. Maybe that sounds a little bit better than what I just said. Like, you, like, if you're like 12, 13, 14, 15, everybody is everybody. You love, whatever. But then, I don't know. If you get older, like my age group, 27, 28, 26, and it's like, you're still in the same boat you were 5 years ago. It's either A, something that you're doing, B, it's the same people you're going after, like relationship wise, like that type. Like there's a type for everybody, but like that type. Or C is just you're just not narrow minded, but it's just like you're just, I don't know what the right word is. You're just, I don't know. I think you're just so focused on having all these things for this one day, the cards, the candy, the love, the affection, that you're not realizing that either A, this same person wasn't who he was today, yesterday, and he's not going to be who he is today, tomorrow, if that makes sense. I hope that made sense. I know that sounded so jaded, but I really hope that makes sense because, like I said in the beginning, I really used to love Valentine's Day. Like, I kid you not, I would really want like the hugs and the kisses and the dates and the flowers and the blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, why? Now I'm like, why? Like, I feel like I would be forcing the person to A, remember the day, and B, I want you to take me to all these places. But at the same time, once February 14th is over, we're arguing again. Or I don't like how you look. Like, it sounds bad. I sound jaded. I should be quiet. But I don't know. I just think the day is made up. I think you should love who you say you love every day. And I think you should just not care so much about a day. Like, I've never heard this much hoopla over any other day other than Valentine's Day. Like Christmas, y'all expect gifts and gifts. On birthdays, y'all expect gifts and gifts, but like there are other days that you could just do that and not just on a holiday that's not even a holiday. First of all, it's just a day that just happens to be Valentine's Day. It sounds bad. I know. I sound really messed up. But I don't know. I just feel like if you stop worrying so much about Valentine's Day, if you stop worrying so much about why your relationship isn't like their relationship, or why your relationship isn't like your best friend's relationship, I think you can really, basically what I'm saying is I think you can really enjoy the person a little bit more, because I feel like females, and I was guilty of it, get so angry and completely different on that day, but they don't really see that the person is trying every day. It's like they're doing what you want. They're like paying attention more and being attentive more and being communicative more on every other day. But it's like if they aren't, if you don't wake up, basically it's like if you don't wake up to like breakfast in bed with like flowers and champagne by like 10 o'clock, and the whole day is ruined. And then you're like, well, you forgot. But at the same time, you're not doing anything for them. It's like you like you want to wake up to all these things, but what if the person you're dating, your boyfriend or husband or whatever, wants to wake up to those things too? Like they may like chocolate in bed, or they may like to wake up to flowers and candy. I mean, it's kind of, they may not, but you know what I mean? Like it's like you're putting all this pressure on the male in your relationship, but like how come they can't like you should be doing this. It should be the same level. It should be the same, what is it? It should be the same vibe throughout the whole day. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be, well, all right, you want three things, which is chocolate, champagne, and reservations, the girl. And then, okay, the guy wants, I don't know, breakfast in bed. Um, you do the dishes, and I don't know, take out the garbage. Will match. Like it should match. If that makes sense. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know. I just, I just think the day is stupid. I just went on a rant there. I'm sorry. I didn't even see you guys. Hi. But yeah, I just think I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this, but I just think the day is dumb. That's my honest opinion. It's Sunday. I can't lie. I went to church this morning. Praise God. But I just think the day is just a day. It's a day. Tomorrow is another day. Tuesday is another day. Wednesday. I mean, it's just a day. It's not the end of the world if you don't like get the world, if that makes sense. That's just my point. I don't know. I don't know. If the people who For the people who are in relationships, don't listen to this episode. For the people for the people who love, don't listen to this episode. No. But I just think maybe you won't get as jaded as I am, but I just think you just come to the point where it's just like it's just a day. Like I think that's what I'm really trying to say in that rant. That is just another day. Now, you should be lucky to celebrate one, your health, two, waking up the next day, three, if you do have that person, just to cherish them, because you're so busy wanting all these things, you're not enjoying the person you're with. Because if you take the holiday out of the day, if it was just a regular day, you would still be with that same person. Like the day shouldn't make you see them. Well, actually, no, the day can make you see the person in a different light, but also the day shouldn't make you see the person as like not what you thought he was just yesterday, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's just my 2 cents. And like I said earlier in the video, earlier in the episode, I I mean, it may sound like cheesy, but I buy myself stuff. I bought myself my sweet tarts because I love sweet tarts, and I bought a bottle of champagne and my turtles. There's nothing wrong with that. It really isn't. First of all, it's not expensive, and you can just enjoy your own company. I think I finally got to the point where I'm home. It's COVID, but before that, I think I just got to the point. I don't know. I enjoy my own company. If you really sit back and think and reflect and regroup on who you are as a person, you realize that you don't need all these things. Granted, it would be nice to have more money, it would be nice to have more space, but realistically, it is okay. It sounds like a cliche, but it is okay to be by yourself on these holidays. It is okay to love yourself on these holidays. You know what I'm saying? It is okay to cherish your time, your space, your mental health, because it really is okay to just not be with somebody. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it's okay to be alone. I mean, it really is. And like I said, it took me some time to um I guess say that out loud because I would always feel like, oh my God, I'm missing something if I'm not with somebody 24/7, or if I'm missing something if I'm not in a relationship. But it's like, it sounds like an old person, excuse me, but you have your whole life to be stuck with somebody. That sounds bad. Let me rephrase that. You have your whole life to be with somebody that you cherish. Why are you rushing to get to that point? Because when you get to that point, you'll know. You just don't want to be with just as anybody just because it's a Tuesday, right? You want to be with somebody, so you're building, right? It's really a relationship, really is what it is. You're building, you're getting down those blocks, you're getting past those hurdles. You know, you're doing the cupcake Tuesdays and Taco Wednesday, and you know, you get to that annoying point where you meet the parents and you know each other's favorite color, and then you get to the point where you do a weekend trips and then blah 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 blah, moving in, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But before you get to that, why not just enjoy yourself? You'll find out things about yourself that you didn't know because you're either A, doubting yourself, or B, you're putting all your stock and your energy into somebody else. Now, again, before I get in trouble, there's nothing wrong with being in a relationship if you are. But what I'm saying is, well, if you're not, that is okay too, because everybody doesn't need to be with somebody. There's a season for everything, there's a journey for everything. Like your time, my time, whose ever time will come. Like it's okay. You will get there, sis and bro. I promise you, you will get there. But in the meantime, between time, enjoy. I don't want to say the solitude, but enjoy your presence, your energy, because that needs to be nurtured too. Because when you're in a relationship, you're giving your energy to somebody else. You know, in your relationship, you have to listen, pay attention, remember things, do things, go out, gotta eat, gotta remember it's just like it's a lot. There's a lot of mental space too that you're using because it's not just you anymore that you have to deal with or worry about. You know, you have to worry about, not worry about, but you know, interact with because you're interacting with somebody else. The relationship, unless you're freaky, it's a two-man job. But at the same time, you can't forget about nourishing your soul because at the end of the day, once you lose your soul, it's a dub. So, I mean, I don't have one, but if I did, it would be no. But I kind of lost my train of thought. I think I just ran it for a minute, but it's okay. It's a Sunday. Don't worry about it. But yeah, a Valentine's Day special. Valentine's Day. It's just a day, but you can enjoy the day without having somebody for that day. If that makes sense. I don't know if that made sense. If I could rephrase that. Valentine's Day is a day, right? Love, cards, blah. But if you're home or if you're by yourself, it's okay. Like you shouldn't be jealous when you see your friends with somebody else, or you shouldn't be jealous if your friends are married or getting married, like before you. Like if all your friends around you are getting married and you're not, that's okay. You just haven't met that person yet. It's just not, it's not your time. So why rush it? If you are out to dinner when we could do things and you're out at a restaurant by yourself, I've done that. No shame. I've gone out to restaurants by myself. I bring a book. It's okay. I don't need to be talking to anybody. Just keep the food coming and the drinks and that'll be fun. It's really okay to be out by yourself. And people always say, oh, that's just so sad, you know, girl going out on Valentine's Day or whenever by herself. No, it's not. It's actually cost efficient because all I have to worry about is myself. No, but it's okay to be out when we could be out, you know, by yourself because you're enjoying your company. There's nothing wrong with getting to know yourself, which is what I've been doing post pandemic, pre pandemic, during pandemic. There's nothing wrong with getting, you know, to know what you like, what you don't like, what you'll settle for, what you'll tolerate, what you'll deal with. Because, we're older now. We age every day, not every year, we age every day. And there are certain things that I would be okay with when I was a little bit younger. And now I'm just like, eh, if you don't do, it's not like if I have like a list, but it's like, if I see that we're not at the same energy, if that makes sense, then you got to go. But it's not to be like rude or anything. It's just like I don't have the mental capacity to deal with incompetence, if that makes sense. That sounds harsh, but it's just facts. There are some people who aren't worth your time. Hopefully that makes sense. I think I ranted a little bit, and I hope I didn't like poo poo anybody's night. So I said, if you're in love and you do have a relationship, don't listen to this last half, but I digress. Anyway, again, this is about to end because, like I mentioned on Anchor, it only allows you to do 30 minutes. So I'm going to end it on Anchor, but then I'm going to talk for like another minute on here. So I'm about to like end it. No, scratch that because then it won't match. I'm going to let this run out and then I'm going to say like another 2-3 things once this ends. And then I'm going to end it because I've been speaking for like an hour. Whew, child. No, no. So let me end this here and then give me a second. So it's about to be silent. And let us go here. I've actually not done a episode this long before. I guess I had a lot to say. So, hold up. Okay. Yeah. So I've never done podcasts this long before because I guess I had a lot to say. I think the other episode that I had that was like a 2-part was the relationships episode. So I guess I did have a lot to say. But yeah, so I don't want to, I can rant all night, but at the same time, for those of you who do have plans, or for those of you who are enjoying your plans now, let me stop. But no, I just think I'll close it out, I guess, with, in my opinion, it is a made up day or holiday, I should say, because you really should celebrate. You really should celebrate your loved ones or your love for someone every day. But for me, my 2 cents for what I'm for my experiences and what I'm going through now, or whatever you want to call it, is I'm okay with being alone. I never thought I would say that out loud, but it's cool because I really get to know Lana, and I feel like once you get to know yourself and you as a person, you don't. I sound like an old person, but like you don't like the relationship will come. That makes sense. Like, and it sounds a little messed up. Not messed up, but it sounds a little weird, I guess, even maybe just because I'm hearing it. But like, I don't even like people say they want a relationship until they get into a relationship. That's really what it comes down to. And then you can go like on the dates and then the apps. But then even the apps are looking kind of tired, at least in my opinion. They're just, it's just, you can't really get to know somebody through an app. They say you can, but I don't really think. I mean, if it wasn't the pandemic, it'd be a little bit easier. But nowadays, people don't want to interact with anybody. They always want to just be on their phone or texting or anything. Nobody wants to call anybody or be face to face. But in my opinion, I don't really think you can really find that connection through an app because it's an app. Like unless y'all are texting for some time and then y'all meet up, sure. But I don't recommend the apps because I've been on them before and they've kind of not like they don't work. But if that's your thing, cool. But if it isn't, if it wasn't COVID, I would recommend doing how they used to do and just talking to people. But it's COVID, so I wouldn't recommend going out just talking to people. But if the apps is your thing, then have at it. But for me personally, and I've been on the apps, and it's just looking at like just looking at like white noise to me. It's just like, okay, just what is no. So I'm just like, maybe I don't want to say my stand. No, I'm gonna say it. My standards have changed. I think that's what it is. I'm just like, nope, not gonna work. Nope, can't. Nope, sorry, nope. But at the same time, I think I'm realizing that I don't need the relationship to or a relationship, whatever you want to call it, I guess, to like complete me, whatever that mess is. I guess I'm just like okay with being by myself. Like if the person, like if there is a person for me, because I feel like there's a person for everybody. But like if there is a person for me, okay, I'm here. But until then, I'm gonna be chilling, make my music, do my podcast, and play my trumpet that I just got. Until then, I'm good. I don't know. I just think when, in my opinion, I think for me, I'm realizing that doing the searching, doing the apps, trying to find somebody, trying to find that person, force trying to force a relationship. Because like when you get to the point where you're like trying to force a relationship with a person, or be when you're trying to like force a relationship um with somebody, this is not gonna work because it's already being forced. Like the beginning of it is already being forced. Like the relationship should be easy, it should be natural, it should be organic, and then it flows. But then if you're already like if you're like liking somebody, right? And y'all used to be together and you're not, now you're friends, whatever, and then you're like forcing their relationship or forcing it to like be again, then I just don't think that one's for you. I don't think if it like it shouldn't be like, yes, relationship is work. It's a give and take, but it shouldn't be work to get a relationship, if that makes sense. Like, yes, it takes time to get to know somebody. It takes time, like really a long time to know somebody. But like if you have to force yourself onto somebody, if you have to force yourself for that person to look at you in that way that you want them to look at you, and it's like this hard and you're not getting anything back, and you're just like, well, I just think that you should focus your energy on things that you know that you will win at, if that makes sense. I think, I don't know, that's just my little extra 2 cents. I don't know, but this is getting a little bit long. I didn't think I could talk for this long. My mouth is kind of dry like the Sahara. But um yeah, if I could leave you, I know I just said this, but if I could leave this episode with anything other than just being yourself, or being okay with yourself, I would just say be patient. And I know that's easier said than done because I'm so not patient. But I think if you be patient and just, I don't want to say be patient and wait, but if you can be patient and then just in the meantime, between time, do what you are doing, whether it's music, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing, whether it's construction, I don't know what you do with your life, but doing things that fulfill your needs without having that person, like without the person being the need filler, doing the things that you enjoy, that you love, that wake up happy to do the next day. I think you should do that because the time will come for you to meet her or him or they or she or he or whoever. The time will come. And I think for me or for anybody, the minute you stop forcing it, it will happen. It's natural. It will be organic, I think. But okay. So that's just my little bit. I think you should be patient and wait for your season. That's what I think. Which is what I'm doing because I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying doing the podcast, even though it's a little bit long, but it's okay. I'm enjoying, even though it's only been a day and a half ish. My trumpet, well, her name is Judith, but me and Judith are going to be rocking out soon. And my music, there's nothing more I love than my music. Well, my health, sort of, but my music. So you should find things that you enjoy and find things that excite you versus just being like, okay, well, what am I going to do today? Find a man. Hey, girl. Find a man, or let me go on this app and look for this man, or let me go on this app and do this. Let me do that. Let me settle. I don't really think you should settle. I think you should just be yourself because you're awesome. Sounds boring. Sounds cliche-ish. That's not even a word. Just made it up. But once you realize the stuff that you have, the stuff that you can give, your energy, your vibe, the aura that you can give off to a room is awesome. Then you start realizing that, okay, let me get these things in order before you go into the next step. Right? It's like a book, right? It's like you have the table of contents, you have the first couple chapters, you have the middle, you have the end, and you have the was it a prologue? Epilogue. Epilogue. There we go. It's levels to everything. It's levels to everything. It's levels to build the beginning, to have you in the middle, and then wrap it up at the end. So there's levels to everything. Once you start building your levels, and once you start acquiring things that you need to be fulfilled with, that you need to be fixed, whether it's like getting in shape, or getting your health right, or finishing school, or starting school, or getting that job, or reaching out to somebody you haven't spoken to in some time. Once you knock off those branches, you can really deal with the next step, because like I said, relationship is a job in itself. So I think until you're sounds weird, but like until you're like prepared, or until you're like able to give yourself fully to somebody, I think you shouldn't rush into it, because if you can't give yourself fully to somebody, then you're just wasting, you know, people's time. Because if you want to give your all to the person, you don't want to just give half-assed, if that makes sense. Oh, thank you, baby girl. Same to you. But yeah, so I just think that you should be patient, and then just wait for your season. That's just my opinion. So I've been talking for an hour and 16 seconds. So I'm about to end this because my throat is really dry. But yeah, so like I said in the beginning, a couple things I'll just recap real quick. I'm Lana. This is Pure Sessions, and normally I do Pure Sessions episodes every Sunday at 6. But since it is Valentine's Day, I did it a little bit earlier. I didn't know I'd be talking 2 hours, but it's okay. So yeah, so you can catch the episodes live on YouTube and IG, IG Live every Sunday at 6 normally. So it's every Sunday at 6 Eastern Standard Time. But then I have the audio on Anchor, and then it goes to like Spotify, Apple, all the places you can stream the podcast. And as well as that, I mentioned in the beginning, and you can check on my story because I posted it like twice by accident, but my new album came out today, Experience Misinterpreters. Whoop, whoop. So that is out today. That dropped today at 12. So you can definitely catch that. I have the link in my bio, but I did a little snippet of different episodes on my story. But that is out now, so you can stream it. It's Experience the Misinterpreter. So it's kind of like a chill hop, jazzy vibe, trippy neo soul vibe. So for the music lovers, this is definitely for you guys. So that's definitely, I'm excited about that. And thinking about next week's episode, I kind of had some thoughts while I was talking about this week's episode. So yeah. But definitely, I appreciate you guys tuning in, watching and listening and watching. Usually, I don't talk this long, but it's cool. But yes, and you can also find every episode live on Lana and Pure's Corner on my IG stories as well. I'm trying to boost up this page a little bit more than Lana and Pure, but you can find the podcast as well too. Same picture as my IG, so same picture all over every platform. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. For those of you who did tune in, but yes, catch me live next Sunday at my normal time at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope you guys, don't take anything I've said. There's no ill malice to anybody. It's just my opinion, how I feel, and my experience. But I do hope you guys have a great rest of your Valentine's evening. And for those of you who are working tomorrow, we're off. Woo! I remember when I was working in retail, I would never be off because I'll be working President's Day still. But now I'm home, I'm off. But for those of you who have, real jobs, be safe and be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. And also, it is Black History Month. So if you haven't seen a Black History movie, I would recommend watching the Miles Davis story, Nina Simone story, Boycott, the autobiography of Jane Pittman. What else? Oh, Judas the Black Messiah. I saw that last night. It's a great movie. I mean, I was mad the whole time, but it was a great movie. I love the Black Panther Party. I would definitely recommend watching that. It's only on HBO Max for a limited time. Also, Sam Cooke story. There's a lot of stuff on Netflix and Amazon and HBO you can watch, but we only got 14 more days left of Black History Month. So definitely check out one of the movies if you can. But yes, thank you guys for tuning in, staying with me. I know I'm a little long, but I will see you guys next Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And please, please, please definitely go stream my new album, Experience Misinterpreters. So I hope you guys have a blessed Sunday. And you know what I always say? Do what you did today that you didn't do the day before. Have a blessed night, y'all.